Real attraction isn't about what you show, it's about what you withhold. It's not about the power you flash in front of others. It's about the power you never give away for free. There's a myth that women are drawn to the man who performs the most, who chases the hardest, who proves himself through words and gifts. But the truth is far more subtle and far more psychological. Attraction starts where mystery meets emotional authority. It begins when a man is calm, grounded, and focused, without chasing validation, without asking for permission. And no one understood this deeper than Machiavelli, not the cartoon villain version, but the strategic master of human nature. He knew something that most men never learn. Presence and power aren't given, they're taken. Quietly, deliberately, without apology. So, if you're tired of chasing, tired of hoping, tired of performing for attention, this video is for you. Because I'm about to hand you 5 psychological rules, the hidden principles that shape how women choose the men they give their emotions to. This isn't about pickup tricks. This isn't about fake confidence. This is about becoming the kind of man who naturally draws respect, attention, and desire without effort. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a key. One shift that will flip your entire frame of reality as a man. Let's begin. Rule 1. Attraction is not about perfection. It's about unpredictability. Most men think if they say the right things, agree with her all the time, look polished, stay polite, they'll win her affection. But what they create is predictability, and predictability is the enemy of desire. Machiavelli taught that what is predictable is easy to control, and even easier to forget. If she knows exactly how you'll react, if she can guess every word, every emotion, every intention, she loses the thrill of wondering who you really are. Because attraction isn't logic, it's curiosity, and curiosity dies when mystery dies. So, what does unpredictability look like? You don't overshare your entire life story in the first conversation. You don't always text back within seconds. You don't show up at every whim or chase every call. You're not cold. You're not distant. You're simply unavailable, just enough that her mind stays engaged, wondering where you stand, what you think. You don't flinch when tested. You don't argue when challenged. You don't react when triggered. Instead, when she pulls away, you don't chase. You remain still. When she teases, you don't snap. You smirk. When she becomes emotional, you don't mirror instability. You remain the calm eye of the storm. This is the type of man a woman cannot manipulate. Because she feels his presence, she feels his groundedness, and she trusts that, whether she admits it or not. So if you want to be magnetic, stop performing and start anchoring. Be the man who never folds under fire. That is real dominance. Rule 3. Make your life bigger than her attention. Here's where most men destroy their attraction. They put the woman on a pedestal. They make her the goal, the center, the validation. She texts, they drop everything. She calls, they lose focus. Her mood changes, they shift their personality. Machiavelli would say, "The man who depends on anything external for his identity has already lost." Real attraction happens when your life is already full. You're building something that moves forward with or without her. You're chasing a mission, not a girl. In real terms, you've got goals that excite you more than her attention. You've got a purpose that keeps you up at night. You're building a body, a brand, a business, a brotherhood, not to impress her, but because you respect yourself. Women feel that. They feel the difference between a man who's orbiting their life and a man they're trying to catch up to. A man with momentum is magnetic, not because he chases her, but because he doesn't need to. Rule 4. Rarity creates value. Why is gold valuable? Because it's rare. Why are diamonds cherished? Because they're scarce. So ask yourself, are you rare or are you everywhere? Machiavelli knew this truth. What is common loses power. What is rare gains worship. So don't be the man who's always available. Don't be at every event, every call, every invite. Don't rush to give 100% to someone who hasn't earned 10%. You're not punishing. You're not playing games. You're creating value. You let people earn your attention. You let women earn your energy. You give in layers, not all at once. Because the more accessible you are, the more forgettable you become. Let your absence build curiosity. Let your silence spark imagination. Let your scarcity create desire. Not reacting to dry texts or cold energy. Not sending emotional essays. Trying to fix the vibe. Not matching instability with emotional overdrive. You move on. You stay focused. And that stability, that silence, that's what pulls her deeper than any words ever could. The less you argue, the more you're felt. Let's bring this down to earth. Here's how these 5 rules change how the world experiences you. At a party, you're not loud. You're not attention-seeking. You're calm, observant, and women glance at you wondering, who is that guy who isn't trying so hard? At work or school, when pressure hits, you don't overreact. You nod, you act, you move forward. You become the stability in the storm, and that's rare. On social media, you don't overshare. You post with purpose. Less noise, more gravity, and the curiosity you spark is real. In texting, when she cools off, you don't overinvest. You step back, you return to your path, and that space makes her think. That silence, magnetic. In friendship, when someone pushes your boundary, you don't argue. You say no without apology. And just like that, people begin to respect you more. Here's the key you've been waiting for. People value what you protect, not what you throw at them. Your attention, your time, your emotions, your presence. When given away too freely, they lose power. But when you become intentional, strategic, selective, people chase what you use to beg them to notice. So stop asking, how do I make her like me? Start asking, how do I move, think, and live so powerfully that she can't help but feel drawn in? That's how attraction works. It doesn't come from force. It comes from gravity. You stop chasing and start becoming. You stop performing and start embodying. You stop proving and start moving. The world doesn't need another man seeking approval. It needs more men who move with presence so solid, women feel them in silence. Call to action. If this message spoke to you, leave a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember. It helps someone else find this message. Hit the like button if this gave you clarity, and share this with a brother who needs it right now. This isn't just a video, it's a movement, building men who don't break. Let's build minds that don't beg. Let's build presence that doesn't chase. Let's build a world where your silence speaks louder than noise ever could.